Hi everyone, welcome to Dataverse Academy. In this video, we'll be focusing on views creation for prepare layer and data movement from clean to prepare layer. Now we'll move to prepare layer. So for that, if you remember, we need to create views first and we will use those views in our clean to prepare data movement. So let me go to views part first. So which is inside our ingestion notebooks. So here you can see which we have one notebook for views and one notebook for clean to prepare. So first we'll go through views, then we'll go to clean to prepare layer. Let me click on views notebook. So this notebook will be attached to the SQL endpoint of the Lakehouse. And this notebook is a T-SQL type. So at the top, whenever you create the notebook, first you need to change it to T-SQL type. Then you will be able to see warehouse. And if you click on warehouses, then you will be able to attach to your SQL endpoint. So in our case, this is the SQL endpoint to which we have already attached our notebook. And here you will be able to see all the tables, whether it's a clean table or a raw table. So in this notebook we'll be using our clean tables. At the starting we have discussed about uh, what exactly we are going to do in our views. So we will combine a transaction line and transaction accounting table, and we'll create a single transaction table. So here this is what I'm doing. Selecting all the necessary columns like due date, transaction type, entity location, transaction ID, and this is from transaction table and this is from transaction line table. And then we have these information like amount, gross amount, debit date, and all that. And item ID, subsidiary ID, create date, modified date, and we are also getting the account information from our transaction accounting line table. So transaction and transaction line can be joined based on transaction ID, and transaction accounting line can be joined with my transaction line based on transaction ID and transaction line ID. So these are the columns which I required in my prepare layer. Okay. So here you can see I'm creating inside my lakehouse. If that view already exists, I'm dropping it, then recreating it. Same for customer, just selecting both customer ID and customer name and creating a view. Same for entity, just selecting ID, parent and entity title. And for item, like ID, full name and display name, location, location ID, name and subsidiary ID. Then we have subsidiary view, which will have subsidiary ID and subsidiary code. Then we have vendor view, vendor ID and vendor name. So this is all what we are doing in our view notebook. This will be only run once, or maybe you can put this before running the clean to prepare layer, so that your views will be created and those views will be used further in clean to prepare data movement. Or either you can run this after doing the raw to clean load, whatever you feel. Now we'll move to the clean to prepare layer. So this is the notebook which we have. Let me open it. Inside our clean to prepare layer, we are calling the log monitoring notebook. There is no need to apply the data quality checks on the prepare layer again because those has already been applied on the raw to clean layer. or you can say on a clean layer. If you have any kind of business check which you want to apply, that you can apply using the data quality framework. So for that, you need to make changes in the data quality framework, and then you need to put those entry, and then again you need to make changes in this notebook. So we are not applying any data quality checks on the prepare layer. Here I'm just importing all the functions which are required types as usual, which we had done in a raw and clean layer. Then some parameters which I'm passing, like system name, lakehouse, table, source schema, target schema, whether it's incremental or full load, which is load type, watermark value, watermark column, key column. Okay. Then here I'm just creating some variables, one for clean view. So this is the name of the view which we have created in the view notebook, which will be like view underscore Coupa underscore transaction. So with the same name, we have created that view in the view notebook earlier. Then we have this variable which will hold the name of my prepared table, which is Coupa underscore table name. Then this is the quarantine table name, and this is my monitoring table. Now these are some variables which I am assigning in my Spark config, which is clean view. Okay, and then temporary view, load type. So those has been assigned to my Spark config. If it's full load, then I'm assigning these two parameters as blank because we don't require it for full load, and for incremental load we required those variables. So these are some variables which I have assigned to my Spark config so that I can use those further. Because in this notebook there is some use of Scala as well. So that's the reason I need to assign these variables to the Spark config. Otherwise, I directly will not be able to use these variables inside the Scala. If those variables are declared in PySpark, you need to assign it to the Spark configuration to use in Scala. Then I'm importing SMP library. With the help of that, I'm getting the workspace name and workspace ID. And this lakehouse name I'm already passing through the parameter. Then I'm assigning those workspace ID and lakehouse name to the Spark config variable, which is this. Then in the next cell, I'm using this one as Scala. This whole cell is written in Scala. So we need to kind of convert this cell to Scala. So for that, you can write this magic command, and we need to import these two libraries to work for this particular part. This is this will be used just to kind of create that particular query, which is like select star from that particular view where watermark column is greater than watermark value, and on top of that we will create a view. So let me go to my notepad. I know this will be a little bit confusing. I'll go to my notepad and will explain that. So in clean to prepare layer, first we have created all those views, right? And from those view we can decide what data actually we need to pull from clean layer. How you can decide, like suppose I have created that transaction view, and based on like last modified date I can decide what new data I need to pick. So I need to write this particular query like select star from transaction view, like view underscore transaction, then where watermark column is greater than watermark value. So this is on top of view, and watermark column and watermark value will be like last modified date, and it can be anything, which will be specified in a config table and will keep on updating regularly. So using this query again, like we have a view which is on clean table, and we have written this query on top of view, and using this query we will be creating a temporary view. Using with the help of and using this temporary view, we will be loading the data into our prepare layer. Let me repeat that. First, we have loaded the data from file to raw, then to clean. Then over the clean tables, we have created those views. And this query will be in case of incremental load, where we have watermark column and watermark value, like star, select star from this, and where watermark column is greater than watermark value. And on top of this query, and as this query is built on top of this view, and on top of this query, again we'll build a temporary view. And using this temporary view, we'll load the data into the prepare layer directly or using the merge. Now let me go back to my notebook. So here you can see I'm getting all the configuration value which I have assigned at the top, which is clean view, load type, watermark column, watermark value. If the load type is full, then simple query, which is select star from that particular view. And if the load type is not full, which is incremental, then select star from that particular view, which is our clean view, which we have created earlier, where watermark column is greater than watermark value. Then we are getting this workspace ID and lakehouse name, and using this command like spark.read.option, like assigning workspace ID and lakehouse name, then we are creating a Scala data frame on top of this query, and using this Scala data frame we are creating a temporary view, and this temporary view is created in Scala, and the name of the temporary view will be this one, view underscore Coupa underscore table name underscore temp, and this will be used further in our load here in the incremental load or full load. So we'll move to the next cell to explain. So this is the generate script, which is similar to the generate script which we have used in raw to clean, but I'll explain it again. Then we have full load, then we have incremental load, and at the last we have watermark update, which will run for only incremental tables. And then we have try and accept catch. From here we are calling all those functions. This is same as what we have used in raw to clean layer. Now I'll go to the full load first. Here, so again we are assigning default value, and then getting the data into my data frame from the temporary view which we have created using Scala. If this data frame is empty, then we'll not do anything. We'll just return those default values. If it is not empty, then we'll write it to our prepare table, because it's a full load, then it will be override, like truncate and load every time. Then we are counting what rows has been received and what rows has been written, and then changing the remark and returning. Then in case of incremental load, again assigning default values, and same using the temporary view. Then if this is empty, then no data to load, and if it is not empty, then we are changing the count and remark. And if it's the first time to create that prepare table, then we are directly writing the data to our prepared table, and then generating the merge script just like we did in the raw to clean layer. And in the merge script we have the same code, it just we are using the temporary view and same key condition, or you can say join condition, update clause, insert clause, insert target clause, insert source clause, and then we are creating this merge script and writing it to the config table. So this can be used further. And if a table is already exist, then we'll use this merge script. Like we are taking it from our config table and running that merge script so that it can do the upsert operation. So this is all we are doing in this incremental load. After that, we have again watermark update. So this is the same code which we have used in raw to clean there, where we are kind of getting the maximum of our watermark column. So in the case of transaction, we have last modified date. So maximum of that last modified date and updating our config table. So that next time we'll get the incremental data from the source system. Then here we are just logging into our monitoring table because there is no data quality checks involved there. Same start time, pipeline name, run ID, layer from layer 2, same code which we have used in raw to clean. So this is all about uh, clean to prepare layer. Now we'll move to the data pipeline part where we need to call all these notebooks. That's it in this video. Thank you. Please like and subscribe, and in case of any suggestion on improvement or in case of any doubt, comment.